guys. I want to show you guys some receipts. I'm gonna show some clips of some women who are going to share their ratchery and complaints with the fact that the EBTs are getting shut off. And what I was saying is that please make the proper category distinctions. I understand that there are some women who fall on hard times. You may have been laid off from your job, and you've got to do what you need to do and apply for help to get you from point A to point B. I am not talking about those women, okay? I am making a specific appeal to those who've made this dependency a way of life, and they're not looking to improve their circumstances. They're not looking to get off. They're actually looking for ways to stay on it, and then dare you to remove this safety net from them, or else they'll steal or loot or riot or do all sorts of things. I also said that I did not have time to edit these clips. So some of these matriarchal miscreants are going to use some perverse language. Okay. You might hear an F bomb or two. It is after 10 p.m. You are an adult. The babies should be in bed. So please govern yourself accordingly. Okay. But I don't speak this way, but they do. They're not born from above. So you guys got to deal with it. I don't condone the language. But at the same time, there was nothing I could do about it in time for this live stream. So sorry about the muting, you guys. Whenever I switch scenes, it just does that. So let's take a listen to some of the dysfunctional arguments that these women are going to present, and then I'll come back and engage with it.
Where are the celebrities? Where are the mothers? Where is Kim Kardashian? Where is Cardi B? Where is Taylor Swift? Where is Beyonce? 40 million people are about to lose their food assistance, and they do not care because they are part of the system. Wake up. Nobody needs Skims when they're actually skin and bone. Nobody needs 12 albums with the same music.
Listen, not to interrupt, but most people that I see on EBT are not skin and bone. They have not missed any meals. The back is big, and they've got plenty of calories to sustain them. So listen, the dramatics here, don't fall for the dramatics. Basically, she's trying to make an appeal to women to say, listen, you're supporting all of these celebrities who claim to be on your side, but they don't care about you. All they do is exploit you, which is true. You buy their products, their Skims. I guess that's what Kim Kardashian's shapewear line. I don't know. I don't keep up with these people. But I've never understood the appeal for following a celebrity and getting any sort of clues on how to live, or that these people care about you. I don't know. Maybe there are people out there that believe that, but I thought that argumentation was weird. But let her finish.
Wake up! They don't care. They want you to starve. Starve them. Do not buy their stuff. They want children to starve. Wake up!
There is nothing wrong with someone being on food stamps, okay? Y'all are highly mistaken to sit there and criticize someone for getting the help that they need for their family. And y'all keep coming for me because I've been on food stamps for the past 15 years. You do realize that I qualified for food stamps because of my income, right? Because I don't have any income. I haven't had income in the past 15 years, and I have been able to have my bills paid, my food paid for, and I'm in Section 8 housing, okay?
So in 15 years, she ain't been able to find a job. Like, I think for me, it is not even the issue that there are people who are on the system and receiving benefits. I get it. I think for me, the challenge is they're so proud of their choices. Like, I've been on public assistance for 15 years and I don't have income, as if acquiring a skill in 15 years wasn't doable, getting a job in like, you know how many promotions you could have gotten in 15 years? Like, I just don't understand. She does not look disabled. I mean, she looks like she's in her right mind. They sit on the internet telling the world all of their business and are confused that we all have something to say about it. Like, I'm trying to understand, in what world is it okay for you to think that people are not going to have an opinion when you tell them you've been on public assistance for 15 years and that you have no income? Why not? What if 15 years? I mean, a child can go through the K through 12 system in less than 15 years. You could have had a baby and your child is now graduating and you're still receiving benefits? How does that happen? That's just crazy to me.
These are all programs that I'm entitled to because I do not make enough. Okay?
I know, like, but why? What, first of all, what is enough? And why do you believe you're entitled to it? It's the entitlement for me. I mean, she's looking in the camera like, I'm entitled to it because I don't make enough. And I'm just like, so because you don't make enough, you feel entitled to my money, to where my taxpayer money has to be used to subsidize and take care of you. But what are you doing to take care of yourself? From the looks of it, nothing.
So before you go and pass judgment on someone, realize that everyone's life situation is not going to be the same as yours. Okay, you might work 40, 50 hours a week and you might have income coming in, but there's people like me out here who don't have anything to their name that have to rely on these programs because they don't have jobs.
Why don't you have a job? This is why I was all for the work requirement. Like, if your child is school age, and I still think that work requirement was too lenient. It was just too lenient. They only required, 80 hours for the whole month. No. For you to sit here and say there are people out here who don't have jobs 15 years and you ain't been able to find a job, no. I mean, I know the job market is rough, but it's not that rough. You choose not to work because we have politicians that want to create a government, a class of dependents, masters, slaves looking for masters. They want another government, a class of government dependents, in order for them to remain in power, to say, if you don't vote for us, they're going to take your SNAP away. They're going to take your Section 8 away. If you don't vote, they don't want GOP leadership, because GOP leadership is going to come with a standard and a requirement. These women have lived their lives not under the authority. They've been allowed to just be rebellious and run amok and have someone else take care of them. And the thought of someone putting a standard and a requirement in place causes them to crash out.
What do you expect us to do?
Get a job.
I'm telling y'all, Trump is really taking y'all through there, because this government shutdown thing going on now, they want to take government assistance from everybody, Section 8, HUD, and they're not worrying about come Thanksgiving, come Christmas. 2 months, these people won't be receiving any government assistance to be able to feed their kids. They already starting it now. The money they working for is not covering everything.
Like, on a serious note, like, the real reason why they can't take my shit, because how the fuck y'all gonna take...
Wait a minute, was that a tattoo on her face? Did I see that right?
this shit in November? That's when Thanksgiving and people eating food and preparing...
She got a whole tattoo on her jawline right here, one right here, all of this right here. Wow. Why do we do that to ourselves, ladies? Like, who told y'all that was attractive? Like, to just have someone draw on you. Like, I've never woken up and was like, you know what? It would be a good idea for me to let somebody draw on my face. like just puncture a needle in my face, like right here. That's cute. That's like real sexy. Yes, do more of that. I don't know.
Meals and shit and bringing potlucks and bring your own dish and bring a dish and fuck, like, what the fuck am I gonna eat? Some crackers? Some bread? What, all I'm gonna be able to get is some stuffing? Some cornbread? I won't even be able to go get me a motherfucking ham. Like,
Ma'am, your nails are done. Yeah, I went and got my nails done. Normally I do my own nails, right? Normally I just, put the little gel polish on it and say, God bless you, good night. But last month, I think I was just under a lot of stress and I was doing a lot of stuff and I broke like 3 nails. And when you've grown your nails out and you break 3 of them, at that point you like just throw the whole thing away. You gotta start over. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get my nails done. Y'all, when I went in that nail salon and saw them prices, I was like, wait a minute, people are doing this every 2 weeks? I was like, yeah, I'm old, so it's been a minute, okay? Full sets used to be $20. I went in there and she showed me that little laminated placard and I was like, I was like, so a full set and a pedicure is gonna run me $100. It was almost $100. I was like, this is wild. This shit got her nails done with little designs on it. I mean, what's the little girl? Oh gosh, she told me her name. The little nail tech lady. Her name, was it Susie? She was like, I don't want no design. No. One color in a top coat. No. I don't want no design. I don't want no sparkle. I don't want nothing. Just keep it simple, lady. Running up the tab. These women walking around here with lace fronts and snuffleupagus lashes, whole face tatted up and nails, and talking about, I can't get a ham. You don't skip, you ain't getting no ham. The ham is on your body. You forfeited your ham.
y'all gonna what? Huh? Trump come again? Cause like y'all lucky I don't know where y'all live and I work at that tab.
Why y'all so worried about people losing their EBT? Like, not worried. I mean, like people who are celebrating people losing their EBT, like get a job and stuff like that. What does people getting EBT have to do with you?
It's our money. This is the ignorance. The ignorance and the lack of understanding of how government works. These people really think that money grows on trees. If you have children and how they'll ask for stuff and they'll be like, oh, it only costs such. And I'll be like, where do you think the money comes from? You think it just manifests? I remember one time I was in elementary school and I wanted to do something. And I just looked at my mother. I was like, why can't you just write the check? And y'all, after I picked my lip up off the floor, my mother made it clear, oh, you must don't know how this works. You don't just write the check. She was like, at that point is when my mother took me, showed me a checkbook and the little, y'all know when you used to flip the checkbook open in the ledger. She was like, first of all, you got to put money in the bank and then you have to have money. You write the check. Like she had to explain all of that to me. And I was like, oh. So you just don't write the check. She was like, no, there's money attached to this. These people argue like juveniles to just be like, well, I mean, I don't understand. What does it have to do with you? It's because the taxpayer is paying for it. And listen to what she's about to say after this.
Like, what is it doing to you? Like, what is it taking out of your pocket? What is it? Your taxes and shit still gonna be the same. So why are you celebrating somebody losing something that has no benefit to you? I'm lost.
We know.
So you're telling me that someone in higher power decided that it'd be totally fine to take away SNAP benefits right before the holidays, and now they're talking about taking away our depresso espresso medications? So you're gonna make the majority hungry and psychotic? I mean, fuck around and find out, I guess.
Bro is waiting in the dispensary parking lot, asking people if they have any spare roaches. I don't think y'all understand. The crash out levels is about to go through the roof.
Okay, let me interpret that for the uninitiated. Lil Little homie right here with the curly hair is saying that there is a young person in the parking lot of the dispensary. The dispensary is the location where you go and obtain the marijuana. And this gentleman is in the parking lot of the dispensary asking people if they have any spare roaches. Roaches are not the insect roach, are a small, not that I have experience in this, but I'm familiar with urban culture. A roach is I can't believe I'm telling y'all what this is. Listen, okay, a roach is let's say you have a joint and you're done smoking it, or you're like, I don't want any more, and it's too small for you to really do something with, so it's like really really small. The man is he want to smoke he want to smoke weed so bad that he's collected roaches.
Flag on the play.
Oh god, I'm sorry. It was just funny when you think about it. The struggle is real. If you are in the parking lot of the dispensary soliciting other weed heads for roaches, and they call it a roach because it's small. It's not a bug. Y'all saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. Okay, the Lord has removed who you used to be before Christ from your memory. Praise God for that. I happen to remember. I know what a roach is. This is fun. So basically, his argument is no food stamps means you don't have money for weed. Wow.
No food stamps equals no to less weed money. Like, y'all about to have people out here hangry and sober. That's a diabolical combination.
No, well, the thing is, he said they're going to be hangry, hungry, and sober. The thing, if you think about it, if you smoke weed and those munchies kick in and now you don't have any EBT money, that is diabolic. That's rough. I mean, because you'll be like Pookie and you can't satisfy the itch because you don't have no money to eat. So I could see why this demographic is struggling. But this is still a problem.
Because the food money got to come out of some budget, and that's the first one it usually comes from. All I'm saying is just be nicer to people in these coming days, because that blunt and those snacks may have been the only thing stopping your coworker from putting you first in line for a meet and greet with God Almighty.
Basically, this man just said so many people that you know have been restrained from sending you to meet your maker because of weed and EBT money. Y'all, this is crazy work. This is crazy. Right. So DJ Magnetic help the people understand. They don't understand that it's not Trump that's doing this to them. It's the Democrats. I agree. They don't realize that. They don't know what a continuing resolution is. I've already done a video on the CR. It's where the CR is only supposed to be for the basics, right? Just to keep, it's no different than you paying your rent, your lights, just the basics. What the Democrats are trying to do is they want an additional $1.5 trillion for health care, but not for you, the American people. It's for the illegals because they need another class of slaves. They need another demographic of dependents. And they know that they are losing congressional seats and electoral college votes because the population in these blue cities, they're losing population. And so they're scrounging, trying to figure out how can we replace the congressional seats that we're losing and the electoral college votes that we're losing. We have to woo these illegals, give them free stuff, figure out a way to help to let them vote so that we can stay in power. That's what people don't realize what's happening. And then they claim that, oh, well, we need to make healthcare affordable. A continuing resolution is not the time to negotiate for healthcare. This is supposed to be for the basics. When it's time to discuss a budget, first of all, we can have a conversation about why the Affordable Care Act, which was never affordable, needs to be repealed and replaced because it's made healthcare go up. But, sorry, y'all. I think my fan Fans in another purse. Yeah, you're right though. You are absolutely right. So before I finish and wrap up what I was gonna say, so let me finish what I was saying. Notice, you guys, the language in all of these clips. We heard a lot of "I'm entitled to housing. I'm entitled to food. Like, you're supposed to take care of my health care." And I'm like, no, you are entitled to image bearing dignity and equal justice under the law. And that's it, right? Food, housing, healthcare, all of those are responsibilities that we pursue through the family, through having gainful employment, is having a job, right? And volunteering your time to charity. There's so many other avenues other than entitlement and expecting someone else, i.e. the government, to do these things for you. When the government becomes your source, it's going to demand your worship. You will have to bow the knee. It's gonna demand something of you. And not only your worship, your silence, your vote. You will end up abdicating your entire soul to the government when you look at the government as God. That's how this works. And so if like, there are able-bodied men. Obama did this where he adjusted the rules of EBT to where now able-bodied men are receiving food stamps. That's wild to me. And so my thing is, if you're a guy and your kids are eating off an EBT card while you're ducking child support, right? That's unacceptable. A man is supposed to stand up, be a man, and provide for his own. And we've lived in a democratic heaven for so long that it has created an American hell for everybody else, because it tells men that you can vanish and the government is going to come and swoop in and pick up the slack. And that's not okay. I don't have an issue, like I said, with the elderly, disabled, widows. We want to support them. The church has always done its job in that. Neighbors come in and fill in the gaps there. But able-bodied, chronically idle, these intentional single mamas who got the revolving door of a man coming in and out, but you don't want a husband. These are the ones, they don't need a new EBT card. They need discipleship. They need the gospel. These women need Christ. I'm sorry, repentance and the gospel of Christ is a better policy than any of these permanent welfare programs. Because once the gospel is made alive and you actually understand the truth of the gospel and God opens up your heart, you will submit yourselves to the scriptures and you'll see that, you know what, I was supposed to marry before having kids. Why? Because God's order works. And so the heartache I'm experiencing right now and the hardship I'm experiencing right now is because I was living my life in open rebellion against a righteous and holy God, and I did things out of order. But now, post salvation, I endeavor to do something different and to make different choices. So the issue is not, oh, you're a single mom and you're on EBT. Your greatest need is Christ. But then once Christ comes in and he changes your heart, your worldview changes to where you're like, you know what? I was supposed to marry before I carried. Well, I didn't. So now we're gonna go move forward and make better decisions, right? Something else that happens when the gospel comes into the light of Christ. I mean, there are even pagans who recognize the trap of government dependence. But if we're just going to talk about solutions that it might sting when you hear it, but it works, is that you should put work before welfare. Meaning, when we put strict work requirements for able-bodied adults, it moves them from a place of wanting to be an eternal adolescent to where they actually stand on their own 2 feet and they actually want to grow up and be productive citizens. A lot of people don't like that, but it's the truth. The other solution that might sting is the fact that there is no reason why somebody should be on EBT for 15 years and have never worked. We need to put time limits on this. And there should be some sort of mechanism where it tapers back. Yes, you should be able to get help when you're in crisis. But there should be some sort of off ramp to help you get off of it with some dignity. It used to be shameful if you were on the system. Most people are like, I don't want no government assistance. I got to figure something else out. Now it's like, well, you ain't on the EBT. Well, what's wrong with you? I'm like, y'all trifling, right? The church, yes, the church plays a role in terms of providing some sort of Christ-centered compassion, but benevolence, it should be on a case-by-case basis. The church is not a socialistic arm of the government. That is not our mission. Our mission is gospel-centric first. We can have food pantries, we can fill in the gaps, but it is not our job to be a socialistic arm of the government. That is not our mission. And so I'd also like to see if we changed some of these child support laws and enforced where fathers were incentivized to build and maintain families. Because I look at child support in some aspects as a fine, because a lot of these men don't really have access to their kids like they want. They're just, they are levied this amount of money that they have to pay, but they don't really get access to the kids like they should. So maybe we should prioritize family restoration, give some job placement skills, some sort of real accountability in place. We need a both and approach, because yes, it is the matriarchal squalor. They are a lot at fault, but also we have a very broken child support system that incentivizes, you can break up this home, and if you pay this and you ain't got to deal with her no more, and you're still satisfying the requirement to take care of your kid. It's just something fundamentally broken with that. I don't like that kind of system. And so at the end of the day, y'all, I think people, if they understood that they have to stop voting for these darn Democrats, because all they're going to do is dangle these benefits in front of your face. And at the same time, they are bankrupting you of having any sort of future, because it's a trap. It's a hamster wheel that you're never able to get off of. And so I'm just not, I don't want to normalize chaos. And I get tired of seeing generations of women who've been taught to worship the state and to look to the state to fill the void, where a man and a woman in a bona fide state of marriage, when they're working together, don't have these kinds of problems. And so I don't know. That's pretty much all I had to say about that. I think it's shameful of what we've seen with the welfare queens crashing out, demanding that working class people who are already struggling with these high Obamacare premiums that promised to be affordable, but it's anything but affordable, because we're still subsidizing the fact that all of these people that's on Medicaid, we're the ones who have to experience increased premiums to subsidize for what the government doesn't cover for the Medicaid recipients. It's just a fundamentally broken system.